Welcome to Man That's Cooking. In this video, we're going to show you how to make pellet smoked spinach artichoke dip. So this is really easy to make, it's delicious, and it's a perfect dip for that game that lawyers won't let you mention. Or if you need something as an appetizer for your next holiday get-together meal, check this one out. So first we're going to start with 1 can of artichoke hearts that are quartered and they're in water, and you just want to use some paper towels and squeeze all the liquid out of them. They're going to be pretty wet, so get all of that juice out and then use a chef's knife and chop them up just like this. Next we're going to add a box of frozen chopped spinach, and this was thawing out overnight in the refrigerator, so of course it's no longer frozen. And of course these are pretty wet too, so again use some paper towels just like with the artichokes and just squeeze out as much liquid as you can get out. And you don't have any knife work to do on this, of course, because it's already pre-chopped. Now you could use a bag of fresh baby spinach, but you're going to need to cook that down a little bit before you add it to the rest of the ingredients. But the frozen chopped spinach is definitely an easier way to go. So now on to the cheeses, and we're going to use the good stuff. So we're going to hand shred all of these cheeses. And of course you can mix and match whatever cheeses you like. This is just a suggestion here. But first we're starting out with a block of 8 ounces of mozzarella. And you want to collect a little bit of each cheese and set it aside as a topping for the final stages of the cook. Next we have 8 ounces of gouda. Now as you can see here, this is a hard gouda, and you want to cut the rind off of that cheese. You don't want to shred that in. Now you may want to pick up a soft gouda instead of a hard gouda. This one ended up tasting a lot like parmesan, which we're also using in this recipe, and so it kind of doubled down on that type of flavor profile, which is a little bit much. Softer gouda might have had different notes to it than this hard gouda here. Now you can also get a smoked gouda if you want to double down on your smokiness. And the last cheese, we have 8 ounces of parmesan. So these hard cheeses are going to give you a little bit of a workout. But that's fine, because you're going to need to burn off some calories before you eat this dip, because you're going to pack on some calories. It's so good. And we're going to set some of this aside as well for the topping later. And into the mixing bowl it goes. Next we're going to add 1 cup of sour cream. And don't be using any of that light sour cream. I mean, you're way past diet stages here with this recipe. So this recipe has about 24 ounces of cheese. If you're going to add more than that, you'll probably want to increase the sour cream amounts and adjust it accordingly. And also the next ingredient, which is mayonnaise. So we're doing a ½ cup of Duke's mayonnaise. You can use Hellmann's or whatever your favorite brand is. And finally we've got 8 ounces of cream cheese, and you want to take it out of the refrigerator when you start putting this stuff together so it softens a little bit, and that helps it when you mix everything together, makes it a lot easier. Alright, so we've put this all together, and as you can see, I mean, you can mix it with a spoon if you like, if you want to try, but it's going to be a lot easier if you just strap on some gloves and get your hands in there. Get to work. Alright, so mix everything together pretty well for a few minutes. And then we're going to add some seasonings. And we're going to start with a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, followed by a ½ teaspoon of smoked paprika. You can also use regular paprika if you don't have smoked, and a ¼ teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And this is optional, but you should do it. And feel free to add salt and pepper or any other seasonings that you like and enjoy, and then mix it up. You may be wondering, can I make this ahead of time and then put it in the refrigerator overnight and then cook it the next day? Well, yeah, just make it and cover it with saran wrap and put it in the fridge. Oh yeah, nice and easy, huh? So if you make this ahead of time, the cheese is going to harden up in the refrigerator overnight and it's going to look like this. So you can let it warm up on the countertop if you want, but it really doesn't matter because you're going to drop it into a 10 or 12 inch cast iron skillet and put it on a heat source and warm it up anyway. So keep in mind, one thing about this recipe is at this stage you can put this artichoke dip on the grill if you wanted to cook it there. If you don't have a smoker, you could put it in the oven if you wanted to cook it there. Maybe it's raining outside, but that's not why you're here, right? Because you want to get that nice good smoked flavor. So put it on a smoker, and we're running it at 250 degrees, just using competition blend pellets. Try to stick to some of the lighter woods like apple so you don't give it a real overwhelming smoke flavor. And this is going to cook for at least an hour and 20 minutes. Now you could definitely cook it longer if you want to get more of a smoke flavor. Just make sure to stir it about every 45 minutes or so just to check on the dip, make sure it's not drying out if you're going to go on a longer smoke. If you're doing an hour 20, you just want to stir it once, around 45 minutes. Then close to the end of the cook, so if you're going to do the hour and 20 minute cook, we're talking at around 1 hour, that's when you want to add the cheese that was set aside and add it as a topping like this. And we're going to let this continue to cook, let this cheese melt down. And if you want to get really fancy, you can bring this inside and put it under a broiler for about 2 minutes, maybe a little bit less. And that'll give it a nice brown and crisp up some of that cheese and give it a nice visual appearance. But we're not going to get too fancy like that on this show. We're just going to leave it as is, all natural. And so this is what we've got after an hour and 20. We've got that freshly melted additional layer of cheese on top. And of course you want to let this cool down for a few minutes because it's like molten lava hot and you're going to burn your mouth. Take a look at that. Your favorite Applebee Chili Ruby Tuesday TGI Friday restaurant has nothing on this. So you saw this was really easy to make and there's plenty of it. I mean, this will last. You're going to have some leftovers for sure. Unless you got a huge crowd. Or a huge appetite. So let's dip right in and see what we got. Oh wow, look at that cheese. Look at how creamy delicious that looks. It's like, it's hard to watch this and not be able to have any right now. I just want to grab some chips and dip them in right now. You could dip all kinds of stuff in here. Pita chips, French baguette slices warmed up in the oven. So hey, thanks for watching this video. We hope you liked it. If you do, click like. Also click subscribe. If you have a pellet smoker, check out our pellet smoker playlist. We've got a lot of other pellet smoker videos up in there. Check out our website, manthat'scooking.com. We've got a lot of other recipes waiting there for you to discover. And if you make this recipe, let us know in the comments section how it turned out.